How you doing, folks? Welcome to another episode of Hey Good Lookin', Chef Jeff's Cooking. I'm your host, Chef Jeff Martinez, and this week we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Rather than doing the usual cooking video, this is just going to be a short but sweet instructional video on how to open an oyster. Now, if you're not a big fan of oysters, then maybe this isn't the video for you. If you're not a big fan of raw oysters on the half shell, then this definitely isn't the video for you. So just move along. There's nothing to see here. But if you like nice, plump, briny, raw oysters on the half shell, then this is the video for you, especially if you don't even know how to open your own oysters. If that's something you go out and you get your oysters already opened for you on the half shell, then chances are they've already rinsed those motherfuckers underwater, gotten all those natural goodiness out of them, and cleaned them up for you, right? You don't want that. You want to open your own oysters at home so that you get them the way you want them, and you can have them the way you want them, and you can have whatever variety you want them. There's a wide variety out there, right? Gulf oysters are some of my favorites, but today we're going to go a little more frou-frou, a little more bougie, a little more fancy. And we're going to do some blue point oysters, and we're going to do some pink moon oysters. And the reason for that is Gulf oysters, they're relatively easy to open, but these, they're a little bit more of a challenge, you know, so I thought I'd challenge myself today on camera and see exactly what I'm able to do. So let's get into it. So first thing off, you're going to need something to wet your whistle with, something that'll keep you nice and hydrated while you're opening your oysters. So today I've chosen a nice Independence Brewing Company, Cowboys from Hell. Very nice, very nice. Good choice, good choice. So let's get right down to the oysters. First thing you're going to need for opening your oysters is a towel of some sort, something to lay them out on, something that'll keep them from moving around when you're trying to open them. They can be kind of slippery, and they're also like a hard rock, you know, so that's something you just don't want to just throw them down on the table and plop them down. You want something that's going to kind of, as I'm going to show you in a bit, it's going to kind of cover your hand and keep you safe from the filero. Oyster knife. So let's start off here. I've got two bags here. I have my blue points and I've got my pink moons. Alright, so we're going to open those up. I've got another filero right here in my pocket just in case. You never know when you might need to. I'm going to open both of these bags up here, and let's go ahead and start off with what I'm going to imagine is probably going to be the easier one, and that's going to be the blue point. Good God, there's like 3 bags in here. I swear to God, there's like 3 bags in here just to put 6 oysters in, or 6 oysters, yeah. So this is the blue point, right? It's a little bit larger than the other ones that we're going to have, the pink moon. This is the blue point, hard and rocky, and inside there, that's the goodness, that's the oyster meat. And how in the hell somebody one day, back in the days, thought there's got to be something good to eat in there? I don't know how that person figured that out. But anyway, let's get down to it. You need your little pañuelo to hold your oyster and protect your hand. You need your filadero, your cortador to open it. And of course you need your oyster. So this is the blue point. And if you look right back here, get in close on that camera, on the back side of the oyster, this is what I call the front side, and then this is where I call the back side, where it kind of tapers off and whatnot, right? So if you look right in there, there's a little space. See how my oyster knife kind of goes right down in there? See that? Right down in there, right? It gets right into that little wedge, and once you've got that, once you've found that little wedge, or if there is like a little wedge in there like that, dude, you're halfway there, you're almost done. So you take it, you jam it right in there, cover this up, because if you don't and you're just doing it like this, you slip out, boom, dedo, adios dedo. And that's not what you want. So you take your little pañuelo right there, you cover yourself, you protect your little fingers, and you take your little knife, you get it in there into that little nook as best you can, and then you kind of just push down and boom, you hear that little kind of like a crack. Sometimes I hear like a little pop, something like that. This is a pretty thin, flexible little oyster knife. It gets kind of hard when you're doing big oysters like gulfs. This will kind of bend. Sometimes you want some of those like just regular industrial mass-produced oyster knives because they're thicker and they're harder and stronger, and then you can pop those gulfs. But something like this little blue point, it's perfect because it gets right in there, pops it right open. You don't need too much force. So now once you've heard that pop, you just kind of want to give it a twist upwards like that, and that'll bring the shell up. Kind of bring it up with your hand, pop it up like that, reach down in there, and if you look down in there, you'll see that little muscle right there. Let me see if I can get this to do this right. Get that little muscle and just get that off just like that. All right. Next, we're gonna take the top shell, move it off to the side, and then right where that little muscle was on the top, there's one on the bottom. You just kind of scoop under like that. I'm trying to show you and not spill all those juices at the same time. So you just kind of scoop under, loosen up that oyster, take a look, give it a check, make sure it looks good to you, and then just take it to the head. Man, that's not bad at all. Not a lot of brininess to that one, not a lot of salt to it. Actually real clean, nice, wash it down with a little beer, it doesn't hurt. Nice flavor, nice oystery flavor to it. Yeah, nice oyster flavor. So now let's try the pink moons, something a little bit different. So that was a pretty clean taste to that one, not bad at all. Now look at these little baby little oysters, man. But sometimes with these little ones, they pack a punch. Let me tell you, flavor-wise, they got it. Right, so there's our little nook right in there. This one's a little bit smaller, a little bit harder to get to. That's where these little delicate knives come in handy. These delicate oyster knives, because you can get it right up in there, just like that. And then just like last time, downwards, there's that little, you can feel it. You'll feel it like loosen up. You'll feel that oyster letting go, giving up. Alright, so I just lift it up, I scrape under, try to keep it level. You don't want to lose any of those juices. Sometimes you'll get a little mud on your knife when you're opening it up, so just kind of clean that off and then scrape it clean of that muscle from underneath again. There it is. This one's juicy, man. Let me see. Ooh, dude, that's what I'm talking about right there. That one was briny, man. It tasted like just ocean water, just from the sea. Delicious, really good, man. If you like oysters, those pink moons, they hit you, man. They hit you hard. Boom, like a hit. Boom, too hard to the head. Really good, delicious little pink moons. That the other one, the blue point, I thought that one was gonna be a little bit more briny myself, but it wasn't. It was really clean. That like oyster flavor was there, a real heady oyster flavor, hard, but that pink moon, man, I definitely like that one better. Nice and heady, briny, just kind of like takes you back a minute, you know. And so I'm gonna enjoy the rest of these. I've got 2 more blue points and 2 more pink moons I'm gonna get after, and then I'm gonna finish off my hells here, maybe a little squirt of lemon on them as well. But yeah, that was the instructional video. Pretty easy. You just find that little nook, get in there with the tip of your filetto, get in there, twist kind of like this downward, pop, that little oyster will pop right open. Shake it loose of that muscle, shake it loose of the muscle of the bottom part. Try not to tilt it too much so you don't spill too much of that oyster juice, and take it to the head, man. Stay straight down. A little squeeze of lemon if you want it. You can put all the garnishes on if you want, but I feel like that just fucks the flavor. You know, the cocktail sauce, you know, whatever. If you like that stuff, you can put it on there. Sometimes I just go with the squeeze of lemon, or sometimes I just squeeze the lemon in my beer and eat the oyster as is. So there you go, man. A little instructional video on how to open oysters from your host here, Chef Jeff. You can catch me on the gram at ChefFreeDahmer666, and we'll be back at you again some other time for another instructional video. Until then, take her easy.